Welcome back to 52 Weeks of Gaming. If you have watched this far, congratulations on new personal best for how long someone has been around me. I'm sorry. Reaching new goals is going to happen every week, apparently, if you stay around. But anyway, week 3 brings with it a new game and another interview with our great gamer, Nick. Now, this week, Nick is playing Aftercharge, so what would you say this game is about?
This week is Aftercharge. I know absolutely nothing about this game because it just came out. So, yeah, I'm gonna be a striker. So you have enforcers and work onyx. It's kind of like an offense defense sort of thing. Pretty much you're trying to take down the enemy while they stop them from taking down your extractors. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All there is to it.
As always, we'll check back in on him later. So Aftercharge is a brand new game, as previously mentioned, by a company called Chainsawsome Games. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Chainsawsome Games is a fantastic name. But we can get more into the details of the game later. After our next check-in, we'll make sure that what he thought about the game is kind of how it's going to be. But from what I can see, though, at this point, the game looks simple, but it's always those simple games that are always the trickiest to go and figure out. The mechanics behind it are much more complex than they appear on the surface. So without further ado, let's check back in and see if Nick's earlier thoughts on the game are correct. Nick? Okay, so the purpose of Aftercharge, you're on one of two teams. You're either the extractors or you are a workonic, and workonic are the robots. There's 5 different robots, 5 different exterminators. I'm gonna call them that because the extractors are the things that you blow up. Ooh. And so your job is, as a workonic, is to destroy all the extractors, and the other team is trying to stop you. And it's kind of just that you have different classes you can play as, and it's a 3v3, so it's first to do that. It's pretty fun. There's a bit of strategy involved to it. So there's definitely some variety to it. Now, would you say there's one class that is really strong at the moment? There is one class that I would say is like the most overpowered. There's a class that the whole thing that they can do on the defending side is just kind of drop bombs repeatedly, and it can get pretty annoying because that could just happen a lot. Okay, so that is for the enforcer side, but what about the workonic side? There has to be a balance there somewhere. As far as the other side having one, I'd say the best one on the workonic side would be the buddy, because they can pretty much just give health to someone, so that's always an advantage. You have to kind of build up a charge by giving other people life. That, like, there's someone that could have a lot, but then use it. There's people that could destroy traps, people that could give shields or more power, and the game just continues on. There is a timer in a way. Orbital strikes will happen occasionally. It's just a matter of trying to be strategic. Okay, that makes sense. Different classes means different strategies. So now, who do you think would want to play this game? People who like Overwatch, like class system games, sort of that, like Paladins, those sorts of things, would definitely be the best choice for this. Okay, thanks for the info, Nick. So Aftercharge being the 3v3 with the 5 different classes and the different maps, and the whole point of the workonics trying to destroy the extractors while the enforcers are trying to go and defend them, and having the different combinations you can go on and make, gives the game a lot of room for growth. You can add new enforcers, you can add new workonics with different abilities to go and trade off, and as he said, there is some strategy that's needed. It is not as simple as it looks, because you have to decide, do you want to go in with someone like the buddy who's going to be able to go and give health, or do you want to go in with someone like Glitch who's going to have the ability to take down traps? If you're an enforcer, are you going to be a builder so you can go and build walls around things, or a hunter? or huntress, excuse me, so you can go and be able to track and limit the mobility if they get too close to a certain point. Are you going to be a striker so you can go and drop those bombs from great distances that are going to be able to go and take someone out? There is a lot behind it and a lot of thought that needs to go into it, and it's nuts because it's the first week the game has been out, so it means that there's a ton of room for growth. It means the developers can go and get all the feedback initially, see how an actual test of it, I guess you could say, is going to be run, because they can see on live servers how people are reacting, what they're going and saying and doing, and where the kinks need to be made, because it's going to be a game that has its own meta. They can play around with the values of numbers and make things easier or harder. They can make it so the striker doesn't have that constant bomb like Nick said earlier. Could be that the buddy doesn't put out as much health or puts out more health or anything like that. There's way too much to be able to go and say right now on, I guess it's on how it's going to turn out. Things can go a multitude of ways, and I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. Matches are quick, so it's not, could be quick. In my case, they were quick. I didn't win a lot. But matches can go long, quick, however duration of time, but it's super easy to get in from one match to another and play a series of them at a time. So it's not really I want to say it's almost like a time sink, because you're going to put so much time into it without even realizing it. And that's what you want in a game. You want to be able to go and just spend hours and hours and kind of lose track of time and enjoy it. So with that, I'm kind of excited to see where Aftercharge goes in the future. And with that, that's all I have for this week. So see you next week.